Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, Your Sunny Arches, and I am of course Your Sunny Arches, and today we're going to do a reading for Taurus, a love reading for Taurus, and we're going to do it in two parts. We're going to do it for men and for women. We're going to use the angel romance cards to start off, um, and we'll end with some advice cards, and if there's anything to clarify, we'll probably use either Tarot of the Night or the 8-coin tattoo tarot. Okay, turn on the light just to make sure everything's in clear view. Keep in mind this is for entertainment purposes only. You're the one living your life, therefore make the best decisions according to what you are living and experiencing. All right. I do read from the sun sign perspective, so this is mostly your energy. If anything, check out your moon and rising signs and see how that resonates with you. Okay, so we're going to start off the reading. And one more thing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. So we're going to start off now with Taurus men. Taurus men. Okay. Taurus men. Love messages for Taurus men for the second half of May of 2020. What love messages do we have for Taurus men for the second half of May of 2020? What love messages do we have for Taurus men for the first half of May 2020? We have codependency. Says addictions are affecting your romantic life. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Okay. A few more cards, please. Whoa, we're going to take it. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. That's a good one. So that's a lot of cards. If it comes out again, I'll take it. So with codependency, there are things that are probably holding you back from really moving forward into a new direction, a new way. So whatever these addictions may be, it could be, let me see, is there any indication here, anything particular? We have the lion here. Let me see. There's a lion. I don't know if you can see here. Oh, and please excuse my nails. My daughter's been doing my nails as a pastime during this quarantine, so they're not all the same colors. All right. I don't know if you can see it here on the wheel. There's a lion right there. Okay, so you're going to need strength. You need the strength in order to overcome it. Makes me think of the strength card in the major arcanas. And it's going to be important for you to be able to overcome it. Whatever these codependency are, it makes you get stuck in your head and just not allow you to do anything. You're very sedentary. So you have to force yourself, make a huge effort in order to be able to overcome that. And part of overcoming that is understanding how valuable you are to yourself. Because if you don't value yourself, how will others value you? If you don't respect yourself, why should anybody else respect you? Right? Now, this isn't to say that once you start loving yourself, everybody must show you respect or else whatever. No, it just means that, you set up your boundaries, you begin to become more independent of whatever it is that, or whoever it is you have become so dependent upon. And then and that's how you begin the steps of loving yourself once again. Okay. Then after that, you have very soon. So clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. What other messages do we have for Taurus men for the second half of May of 2020, please? What other messages do we have for Taurus men? Whoa, okay. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine. And passion. Allow your heart to sing with joy. So I'm going to move this over. There we go. Allow your heart to sing and soul to sing with joy. So once you begin to overcome these addictions, these codependency tendencies, or your tendency to become codependent, once you begin to overcome them, for me, in a mental state, in a mental frame of mind, I would say spiritual also, really take that time for meditation and prayer. And meditation prayer is always needed, whether good times or bad times. I just think it's something that we should be doing all the time. Now, do I do it? Don't ask me. I'm not consistent with anything. So, but it is important. I do notice a difference when I meditate or when I pray. It's been a bit more challenging for me, but for you guys, for the men, if you're able to do it, then that's something that you definitely need to do. Okay. And that will help you to overcome whatever codependencies you have. And then you'll begin to feel more like yourself once again. Beginning to recapture, well, like the card says, recapture romance and allowing your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So that means that you're gonna, become playful again, become flirtatious again. And that will bring an increase of passion and playfulness between you and your significant other. Okay, so it says allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, and all of that you have within you is going to begin to come out. All that great stuff within you is going to come out once you begin to let go of this. All right, advice cards. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. My little one came over. She's having a hard time sleeping. All right. So anyways, let's get some advice cards. We're going to use the Tarot of the Night. Alrighty. What advice do we have for Taurus men in love for the second half of May 2020? What advice do we have for Taurus men in love for the second half of May of 2020? That was a lot of cards. What advice do we have for Taurus men in the second half of May in love 2020? Three of Pentacles. So you want to start building a foundation. And which is great because you can't really build on anything if you do not have a firm foundation. Okay? Think of the man that builds his house upon a rock versus the man who builds his house upon the sand. Whose home will last longest? The one that's built upon the rock, because the rock is a very firm-based foundation. Okay? The one with the sand, the foundation, will eventually erode and be washed out to sea. See what other... Okay, cards want to talk. It's just they have huge messages. All right. Bueno. Okay, what other love messages, love advice do we have for Taurus men? Okay, I'm going to take those. So you have wanting to build a strong foundation, right? Then we have, and the Three of Cups. And upon building a strong foundation, you want to also, Sorry about that. Reconcile with those around you, those closest to you. Uh, and you want to be able to offer something to someone, but you're gonna come with the playfulness. You're gonna appear as if you are at a page level, almost like an innocent child coming out once again, right? Wanting to express their, their needs and their wants. But you will feel a sense of fulfillment, and you will also, with the Nine of Cups, a sense of emotional self fulfillment. Which is great because when you learn to love yourself, this is what you're going to get. You're going to feel great. You're going to look great. And all of these, you'll start to be motivated to do more great things, right? And just keep in mind that no matter what, you're always protected day, night, good times, bad times, in between times, sorrowful times. No matter what it is, you are being protected. Okay. It's important for you that once you are able to reconciliate with others, and begin to communicate what your needs and wants are, it may seem like it's the basic needs, the basic wants, right, that you're asking of someone. You're also going to begin that healing process within that will allow you to enable or embody rather the energy of the King of Cups. And as you can see here in the arm, he is healing any wounds, brokenhearted, or anything, any injuries that he's suffered are now beginning to heal. Okay, whether it's emotional or spiritual specifically, more than likely emotional, right? Because King of Cups is able to control his emotions and has control, um, or is able to have has built a stability when it comes to his intuition. And what I mean by that is, you acknowledge whatever signs, synchronicities, or happenings that may be going on around you. Um, but you're also able to maintain your cool, your composure, um, and you're able to see things from a better perspective and come up with a more controlled response and or reaction. And last but not least, you're probably still going to be somewhat defensive. Okay, you've been through a lot, and although emotionally and on a spiritual level, this is what you're going to embody. You're still, when it comes to your passion, you're very defensive about your passions, which are great. Very defensive about those you're very passionate about, those that you genuinely love, that are close to you, um, including yourself. So you want to protect yourself as much as you can from others that are out there, and I definitely agree. So, on that note, Taurus man, that is great. Sometimes we need to love ourselves first before we can properly and genuinely love and show that love and affection towards someone else. All right, men, that was for you guys. That was awesome. At least I think it was. And now we're going to go on to the Taurus ladies. All right. Taurus ladies, love messages for Taurus ladies for the second half of May of 2020. I love these cards. They're so easy to shuffle. Whoa. Okay. All right. What love messages do we have for Taurus ladies for the second half of May of 2020? Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So, Taurus ladies, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but you probably don't feel the same for that person. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. It doesn't have to be just parents. It could be any kind of family issues, no matter what time, at what point in life that you may want to heal. It could be with siblings. It could be with any member of the family, really. Although they do stress parents, that can definitely be a big one. Um, so to me, what this is telling me is that the person that you're with is resembling, or the relationship that you have resembles a lot to the relationship of your parents. If the family issues that you need to heal is with them. If that is the case, then that is the reason for you no longer feeling the same love for your significant other at this point in time. It is saying to give your relationship a chance, but you need to heal these issues first. You need to overcome them before you can. All right. And a lot of forgiving and learning is required. Aries, I believe, got the forgiving and learning card as well. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told them. When you forgive someone, whether you do it in person or in your heart and soul, you genuinely forgive them. You're able to let go of that burden. You have that weight, that burden lifted off your shoulders. And by doing that, it alleviates your body and your soul from that burden that you were carrying, from that anger, that grudge, whatever it is that you were holding on to. When you finally let that go, you also become free. And you're not, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you allow them back in your life like nothing ever happened. No, what it means is now you know what boundaries you need to set. Okay. And at the same time, you forgive, but you don't forget. Okay. You can forget about all the pain and all that, but you've learned a lesson from that. Whatever that lesson you learned is something that you have to now apply. And that means that you also apply that lesson learned to that same person so they do not cross your boundaries. And that the respect is there. If it's not there and the boundaries are not respected, then you know that forgive, you let go, and you just don't need to deal with them, and that's it. Right? So you make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So it's saying to give your relationship a chance. Maybe you have a meddling parent, whether yours or your significant others, right? If you're married, it could be an in-law. Um, I feel your pain if it's an in-law. um, yeah, yeah. So if that's the case, you might have to, you're gonna have to set those boundaries and put your foot down and do what's best for your relationship, whatever that may be. Uh, I don't see religious factors here, but there may be children too, somewhere in this relationship. There are a lot, there's children in here and there's children in this card. So remember, your children are also watching what's going on, and they're learning from you. So everything that you're doing is going to affect them, and that's going to uh, be a deciding factor for them when they grow up. What type of partner are they going to want in their lives, right? So maybe it's not necessarily with your family, maybe it's healing your issues with your own children. Okay, whichever one resonates with you, that's the message. That's what you need to work on. Okay, let's take a look at let's get some advice cards to see how to best maneuver this complicated situation. And keep in mind too, if there are outside issues, like in a general reading, don't get involved with it because there's no need to add more pressure, more troubles, you know, to our lives and what we may already have. Let's see. King of Swords wants to come out. Okay, so we got the King of Swords there. You may be dealing with no. Well, if this is your advice, You could be dealing with somebody who's an air sign. So that may be what's really hurting. Uh, their stance may be hurting, but I think it's more, not that I think, but for me, this is more about you needing to embody the energy of the King of Swords. What does that mean? That means that you need to be strategic in what you do. Strategic, thoughtful, plan, um, and there's a word that I'm thinking of. Um, it's not considerate, but and your form of communication, it needs to be effective and efficient. Okay. And you need to be able to use your sense of discernment greatly. You need to be able to have that decision making ability to know what's right, what's wrong, what's truth, what's not, what's bullshit, what's real. And that's going to help you to make the best decision for yourself. You really need to see past what they're telling you. You need to see past the surface. Okay. What other advice cards do we have for Taurus ladies for the second half of May of 2020 in love? I got a few cards. A couple. All right. Four of Cups, it's almost like you're not letting go, you're not giving up, or you're not really settling for something. There's something that you're like, I got it, but I don't really want it, right? And there's karma coming for that. So it could be a karma could be that you end up losing your relationship. I mean, if that's something that you want, then by all means keep doing what you're doing. You're en route to that. If it's not, then let's see what other cards come out. Page of Swords. So justice will prevail. Karma will be given out. And maybe there's some sort of court thing going on too. We need to be mindful of. Somebody's probably Page of Swords to tell. Let's get one more card for Page of Swords. That can be a couple of things. It could be, again with the air sign coming. So maybe you need to be watchful. You need to be mindful is what I think it's going to be. You got a lot of air, so you're probably dealing with a Libra or, Page of Swords could be a Gemini. King of Swords could be either any of the air signs. But like I said, this is more of you embodying that energy. So be mindful of what you're doing, of what's going on around you. There may be somebody watching. I don't necessarily think stalking because you have justice. I think it's more of you know maybe your children. Like I said, there's a lot, they're watching you, they're seeing what's going on. Another thing could be that you're also going to get communication. One more card please to clarify the Page of Swords and justice and the advice. Wow, that's a lot of cards. You got a lot going on, Aries ladies. Alrighty. Okay, so we got Tower and Judgment. Okay. So here in this case, we don't have to worry too much about Tower. Tower in this with this deck, the Tower has already happened. Okay, that's why everything's so dark. So, it's done. It's happened. So whatever, hit the fan, and now you're starting to overcome it. And I think that's what the justice is. Justice is finally being able to overcome it. Okay, and you're beginning to heal from whatever it is that went down. And now you have judgment. I want to say that maybe you have the choice, the ability. You're being given the opportunity to make a decision of which way to go, right? But because you have two major arcanas, I think it may be more of you may make the choice of what you want to do, but it may not be in the way that you necessarily want it. Okay, so I think it's more of a divine thing, a universal thing, whatever you want to label it, call it, and let's higher beings, creator, universe, they're the ones who have made this decision. Okay, they probably tried to give you a chance, but it may be a little too whatever happened already. Um, So, with that being said, just be mindful of what's going on. Make sure what you're doing has been thought out and planned in advance, so you know what to expect and how to react appropriately. Okay, Aries, Taurus ladies. Yeah, that wasn't the best, but the fact that you got to heal those issues, I think, is important. All right, all right, ladies. That is the end of our reading for today for the second half of May. I do wish you lots of luck, and I hope to hear how this all resonates with you. Please leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, take care. Bye.